Let us for a few moments remember the Divine Lord and pray for the welfare of the whole humanity. Shanti Hari Om Tat Sat. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Om Stapakaya Jadharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Stapakaya Jadharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishna Yate Namah. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Mrityormamritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate, who has come to show the way to the abode of peace and bliss. He has lighted the spiritual path so that all people can go without any problem of the darkness of ignorance. If we study deeply Sri Ramakrishna's teachings, whatever ignorance might be there in us, everything will be vanished. Sri Ramakrishna's power of light is such, it burns away all the impurities, however hard they may be, however strong they may be, nothing remains. Sri Ramakrishna, he is that supreme divine power. And in this incarnation, he has brought Holy Mother, his own power, to look after the children, to show them the path to spirituality, to remove the veil of ignorance, so that people can have the full look of the glory of God. We have just finished chapter 14 and we have just commenced chapter 15, the Gospel. 2 points I wanted to discuss in this session. Sri Ramakrishna has spoken about these 2 points. He has dealt with the subject of Samadhi. People are very fascinated to have this experience. It is really a remarkable, wonderful, thrilling experience. But is it so easy to get Samadhi? We have to work very hard. We have to be intensely spiritual. The whole mind must be set into spiritual ideal. Then it is possible. And it takes time, no doubt. First of all, we have to see that mind gets rid of all impurities in it, in whatever way they are showing up. We have to figure them out, sort them out, remove them, burn them. All these steps we have to take. So we have come to this world to do that job, but we are not doing that job. That means we are not fulfilling our duty towards our spiritual life. We talk of duty so many times, we understand only one duty, that is worldly duty. For us there is nothing else. So we are in trouble. As long as you hold on to worldly duties as the only duties to be relied upon, you are gone completely. But if you have spiritual aspiration, then the worldly duties may lead you towards spiritual life. Anyway, that's a big subject. It has to be dealt with separately. Now, what I am telling is that mind must be trained properly, disciplined properly, directed properly, turned away from the world. We must make the mind take more and more interest in spiritual ideas, thoughts. It is only by resorting to these methods we would be able to have concentration upon the spiritual goal. Otherwise we sit for 5 minutes and get up. Oh, my japa is over. My spiritual life is over. How? Morning I sat for 5 minutes, Swamiji. I was so happy, 5 minutes. Is that all? Out of 24 hours, 5 minutes you have spent and you are talking so much about it. But we talk. But if you want to hit upon this Samadhi, this 5 minutes meditation is nothing. It's just like a squirrel taking bath. So, let us face the reality. How long you keep on weeping and always wants to be sympathized? How long? So there are stages in meditation. There are stages. The first stage of meditation is concentration. We are so much concentrated in studies, in our jobs, in earning money, in getting name and fame, in bloating our ego. How much we concentrated? How much? It is not that we don't know about concentration, but we are not applying concentration in the right way. So when we are able to concentrate upon the spiritual ideal according to the instructions of the spiritual teacher, by constantly engaging our mind in such concentration, when it becomes deep, it leads the aspirant towards absorption. Absorption. That is the second stage in concentration. You are totally absorbed. You are not aware of anything else going on around you. So the concentration leading to total absorption. In that process itself, you are so much joyful and you are so much pinpointed in that goal. When the absorption is total, breathing stops. What happens? A great spiritual current rushes up along the spine and goes towards brain. The scientists should find out that. Of course, our spiritual masters are great scientists in spiritual field. But here I am referring to scientists, means this worldly scientists, who think world is the only way for them. Anyway, so the spiritual current rises up steadily and rushes up towards the brain. When it touches the brain, he goes into Samadhi. He sees God. It is not imagination. It is not hallucination. It is not dream. It is not fantasy. It is the reality. He sees and is immersed in immense joy. Once a person reaches that state, he is no more charmed by the world. He becomes absorbed in the consciousness of God. It is this absorption that leads him to Samadhi, an experience which cannot be described. Once a person gets this experience, he comes to know that universe appears as nothing, and the mind is dissolved, and he experiences Savikalpa Samadhi. Savikalpa Samadhi. As I said, there are 3 stages in meditation: concentration, absorption, 2 stages, and leading to meditation. In meditation, in Samadhi, there are stages. All Samadhi is not same. There are grades in the Samadhi also. Ordinarily, in the first stage, we get Savikalpa Samadhi. Savikalpa Samadhi. Whatever the chosen ideal, personal God we are worshipping, adoring, we get communication with that personal God and we become so much joyful. That is Savikalpa Samadhi. That separation is there. I am there, my deity is there. This leads gradually to the realization of Nirvikalpa Samadhi. What is Nirvikalpa Samadhi? It is an absolute union with God. I want to be one with Him. No more of any separateness. Why should I be separate? Why? Separateness means distance. Why? I go near and near and near, then come one. Just like river approaching the ocean, once it joins the ocean, it becomes one and the same. This experience is beyond all thought and speech. There is nothing to be seen, nothing to be heard. All is infinite silence. It is beyond duality and non-duality. So some people, having reached this highest state of Nirvikalpa Samadhi, look upon the body as an obstacle in the way of an unbroken spiritual experience, and so they cast it off. Even while in Samadhi, they are no more bothered about coming into this cage, finished once for all. They don't want to enter into this body anymore. They don't desire to come anymore. All desires have been vanished. It is like breaking an earthen pot. Sri Ramakrishna explained this highest state of spiritual realization through a very simple illustration. Very nice. Sri Ramakrishna explains high spiritual ideas in a very simple way. So, really speaking, spiritual ideas, spiritual ideals, spiritual life, spiritual ways, they are all very simple, not at all complicated. The difficulty is we should be practical. That's all. There lies the problem. We are not practical, so we don't get result. Finished. Sri Ramakrishna explains, giving an analogy. Suppose you keep 10 vessels filled with water. Keep them exposed to sun. What do you see? The sun is reflected in each vessel. That is, 10 vessels are there. 10 reflections of sun are seen in the vessels. Break each vessel until only one remains, with the sun fully reflected in that one. Finally, you break even the last of the vessels. And what remains? Sun itself. Similarly, the self-luminous Brahman is reflected in the vessels of mind, senses, ego, etc. These are all vessels. Break these vessels one after another. Go beyond the physical consciousness. Go beyond the Sukshma Sharir, subtle body, and go beyond the causal body, Karana Sharir. When you go beyond, that means when you are dissociating yourself with all these externals, you reach Savikalpa Samadhi, when you will see God. The Savikalpa Samadhi is like the sun reflected in the last vessel, which is not yet broken. All the 9 vessels are broken. One vessel is remaining, where the sun is fully reflected. It is just like that. But here, even in this stage, the sense of separateness still remains. That is, in Savikalpa Samadhi, that is in dualistic state, 2 subject-object are there. God is there, I am here. I am seeing God, God is seeing me. I am adoring Him, He is appreciating it. I am enjoying Him, He is enjoying me. So that is the Savikalpa Samadhi. The last vessel is still to be broken. Now break it, and what remains? Brahman and Brahman alone. That's what Sri Ramakrishna did. When Totapuri initiated him into non-dualistic mode of meditation, because of Sri Ramakrishna's purity of heart, the mind would rise immediately to the highest level of consciousness, and finally he lodged in a state where he is seeing the blissful form of the Divine Mother Kali. Blissful form. Mother is smiling, looking at Sri Ramakrishna with graceful eyes, with benign look, showing all tenderness and affection. The mind stood there. It was not going beyond that. But then, of course, persistently, when Totapuri said and did give instruction, finally Sri Ramakrishna, as he told to break the last vessel, so he transcended this state also. He went beyond this. Then Brahman alone is there. Who is there left to see whom? Who to describe whom? If you ask a seer about his experience, he will say, all is infinite bliss there. There is no I, nor you, nor no I or thou. There is only existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute. The joy of that experience is unspeakable. That is Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Meditation means a continuous flow of thought towards God, non-stop, taila dhara vat, like the flow of the oil. When meditation ripens, there comes absorption, and Samadhi is experienced. The joy that is realized in Samadhi remains forever. You are fully aware of that experience. You are not forgetting it. It is not like an experience of the sleep. In sleep, suppose dreamless sleep. You enjoy, no doubt, but you enjoy that experience only after waking up. Oh, I had a very good sleep. You feel refreshed physically, mentally, all your nerves got relaxed. So by the result you are telling, I was wonderful. Beyond that you don't know. But in meditation, in Samadhi, it is not like that. You know very well, you remember very well that joy that you got in Samadhi. So there is a word called Nirvana. Nirvana. Generally this word is used by Buddhists. Nirvana is not extinction. It is only another name for Samadhi or illumination. An exalted state of consciousness beyond all the relative categories of time, space, causation, name and form. So there is no difference between Nirvana and Samadhi. So what we see in the world, again and again we have to keep on thinking, rethinking. The more you think, the better. The more you think, you become cleansed. The more you think, you become close to spiritual ways. It is good to think like that. The worldly man, that is the man who is much after the world, to whom the world is wonderful and real, beyond that he cannot understand anything. Such a man, he is drunk. Drunk with what? With objects of senses, with name, with fame, with lust, with gold, so many things. Then spiritual teachers say, all right, referring to aspirants, they say, be you also drunk, but be drunk with selfless works. Selfless works. Be drunk with love of God. Be drunk with ecstasy. Be drunk with samadhi. Sri Ramakrishna has thoroughly classified these various types of samadhis and is very thorough about this subject, because Sri Ramakrishna would go every day number of times into ecstatic state. The samadhi achieved through concentration and meditation is called by Sri Ramakrishna as Chetana Samadhi. In this samadhi, there is an interplay of ecstasy and power. The samadhi where mind dissolves and the ego disappears, which is a higher state of samadhi, which is rather difficult to get, but it is attained only by the divine grace. Kripa, Bhagavan Kripa is required. When you get the visions of gods and goddesses, sometimes we do get. Sometimes we get while doing japa, or sometimes we get them in our dreams. All these things happen, indicating that the Kundalini power, the spiritual power, is in the 4th and 5th chakra, that is Anahata and Ajna, heart center, and here between the eyebrows, the center at the neck, heart center and throat center, that is Anahata and Vishuddha. Ajna is here. So Sri Ramakrishna explains that that's also a samadhi. It's called Bhava Samadhi. It's also classified under Savikalpa Samadhi. If the Kundalini of the being rises to Ajna Chakra, that is here, if you are able to be stabilizing that meditation there, then the mind doesn't come down. If the concentration is deep, you will get Samadhi. Remaining for 21 days constantly in Samadhi, it merges completely with Paramatman in the Sahasrara. At this stage, if it is necessary that the body should remain in this world, everything is done through the grace of God, and an arrangement is made for breaking his Samadhi by feeding him. So one thing is important that we should remember. Whether you can meditate properly or not, generally we say, Swamiji, we are not able to meditate properly. That's a general complaint. But the spiritual teachers say, in spite of your not being able to do meditation properly, never give up the practice of doing japa. Japa means repetition of the divine mantra. That leads one to a state of meditation, and meditation results in samadhi. Keep on doing japam, God will make everything straighten out. So much about samadhi, which Sri Ramakrishna has told in concluding the chapter 14. And another point he has touched, that is, people pride themselves on their riches and power, their wealth, honor and social position. I had been to Greenville, North Carolina, to conduct satsang programs. It went off very well. They were all deeply interested in discussing these spiritual matters. One of them was telling, Swamiji, money is so powerful. Money talks. From the worldly point of view, by power of money you can do anything. But all these are transitory. Wealth, honor, social position, do they remain? Nothing will remain in death. Nothing. Now, here is a very important point we should remember. That is, God tests man by making him wealthy. And that is hard test to pass. Tests devised by people are easy to pass. There are some people who have got 3 PhDs. If they have got more energy, more IS, they can do 10 PhDs also. It's possible. But divine tests are very difficult. God may give plenty of riches to one man, but so delude him by Maya that he will never in his life desire to be charitable. Again, God may give a generous heart to another person, but not give him much money. Blessed indeed are they who are rich and yet feel for the poor. This is the conclusion of my last class. Now I shall read and invite your comments and observations. Page 319. It was winter and the master was wearing a green flannel coat with a shawl thrown over it. He sat straight with his eyes fixed deep in ecstasy. A long time passed in this way. There was no indication of his returning to the normal plane of consciousness. Gradually it became dark. Lamps were lighted in the drawing room where the master was now to go. While he was slowly coming down to the plane of ordinary consciousness, he was taken there, though with great difficulty. The room was well furnished. At the sight of the furniture, the master muttered himself, "These things were necessary before, but of what use are they now?" Seeing Rakel, he said, "Oh, hello, are you here?" Then, seating himself on a couch, he again lost consciousness of the outer world, and looking around as if seeing someone, he said, "Hello, mother, I see that you too have come. How you are showing off in your Benares saree. Don't bother me now, please. Sit down and be quiet." The master was in a state of intense divine intoxication. In the well-lighted room, the Brahmo devotees sat around the master. Latu, Rakhal and M remained near him. He was saying to himself, still filled with divine fervor, the body and the soul. The body was born and it will die. But for the soul, there is no death. It is like the betel nut. When the nut is ripe, it does not stick to the shell. But when it is green, it is difficult to separate it from the shell. After realizing God, one doesn't identify oneself anymore with the body. Then one knows that body and soul are two different things. At this moment, Keshav entered the room. He came through the east door. Those who remembered the man who had preached in the town hall of the Brahma Samaj temple were shocked to see this skeleton covered with skin. He could hardly stand. He walked holding to the wall for support. With great difficulty he sat down in front of the couch. In the meantime, Sri Ramakrishna had got down from the couch and was sitting on the floor. Keshav bowed low before the master. Keshav bowed low before the master and remained in that position a long time, touching the master's feet with his forehead. Then he sat up. Sri Ramakrishna was still in a state of ecstasy. He muttered to himself. He talked to the Divine Mother. Raising his voice, Keshav said, "I am here, sir, I am here." He took Sri Ramakrishna's left hand and stroked it gently. But the master was in deep samadhi, completely intoxicated with divine love. A stream of words came from his lips as he talked to himself, and the devotees listened to him spellbound. Master said, "As long as a man associates himself with upadhis, So long he sees the manifold, such as Kesha, Prasanna, Amrita, and so on. But on attaining perfect knowledge, he sees only one consciousness everywhere. The same perfect knowledge again makes him realize the one consciousness has become the universe and its living beings and the 24 cosmic principles. But the manifestations of divine power are different in different beings. It is he undoubtedly who has become everything, but in some cases there is a greater manifestation than in others. Vidyasagar once asked me, can it be true that God has endowed some with greater power and some with less? I replied, if that were not so, how is it that one man may be stronger than 50? If that were not the case again, how is it that we have all come here to see you? The soul through which God sports is endowed with his special power. The landlord may reside in any part of his estate, but is generally to be found in a particular drawing room. The devotee is God's drawing room. God loves to sport in the heart of his devotee. It is there that his special power is manifest. We shall stop here. All right. Now one by one you can give a talk. So Sri Ramakrishna has made very clear what is what. Hence there should not be any doubts in our mind anymore. Water, see the oil, there is difference between oil flow and water flow. Water flow sometimes touches the ground, still the line is there as long as the oil is flowing. But you hold the water, it immediately breaks into many drops and there is no continuity. Even while flowing also there is no much continuity as you find in oil. So you must set the mind properly. That's all the thing that is required. Our mind is set to the world. So we are getting wonderful things of the world. If you set the mind to God, you will get wonderful things about God. That's all. Simple. But you have to break the vessels. Break all the vessels. Ego, mind, all these things. One by one. So it requires a lot of energy. You must know. Thinking itself it consumes a lot of energy. That's why you must have very good physical strength. You must maintain your strength properly. You must not dissipate your strength. That's why they always say, maintain celibacy, continence. That's the idea. If one concentrates on maintaining its celibacy, a special nerve develops. Special nerve and special aura, tejas. They call it as ojas. It comes. When that comes, your intellectual faculty becomes well clarified and you'll be able to understand everything in a grasp. Just by seeing you will understand everything. Just by looking you will know everything. You will be able to interpret everything in a correct way. Sri Ramakrishna used to have a lot of experiences and dreams, visions. Ordinarily you will not be able to explain them. Impossible. But Sri Ramakrishna would explain everything so clearly. All the dreams, everything, etc. Because so much clarity is there in the buddhi. So, and this sitting for long time, meditation, and to keep the mind in a peaceful way and to fight out all the evil samskaras in the mind, you require power. You can't get from outside. You have to generate it from your own system. You have got that power, but that power is being not used properly. That's the idea. That's why Sri Ramakrishna tells again and again, all right, I know you are a householder, I know you have got 2 children, but then stop at that one particular level. Then turn to spirituality. Enough of it. You have had it. Good. Thus far. No further. That step you have to take. Oh no, we are not able to take that step. Then if you talk like that, then you will be as you are. You may visit a number of temples all over the world. Mind will be same. That's the point. So training of the mind, self-training, very important. No, here the chakra, Sri Ramakrishna tried to explain in different ways. That's all. The chakras, how the Samadhi state is attained through the Kundalini Yoga, that is chakra episode. That one is jnana, through jnana mark, how one to transcend limitations. That's all. Just to have the intellectual clarity, Sri Ramakrishna has explained this in those ways. But this Kundalini Yoga is not as easy as any other methods, because first of all it requires your backbone should be very strong. You should always sit erect, you should never lean on the chair, you should never sit on the cushion, etc., etc. So, no, I am telling, this Kundalini Yoga is like that. It's a discipline of the body. You have to sit erect. That means you must not have any arthritic trouble, arthritis or pain in the leg or pain in the body. How can you sit at all if you have got any pain in the body? But people, it is too difficult to see people having no pain in any part of the body. Some people have got some pain in some part of the body. Anyway, Kundalini Yoga is, it is not impossible, it is possible, but you must have very robust health. And you must do it steadily. All time you must give to that practice, then only it is possible to achieve the goal before one leaves this body. And I think I told you in one of the classes, in Bangalore there was a Swami who came to our ashram as a guest, and he was telling that there were two Swamis were there. They would sit for meditation. In just half an hour time they would rise up from the ground level. It's not a story, because they had so much of control over the prana. It's actually by the power of pranayama, they would rise, the body would become light. But they know how to come down also. It's like a plane taking off and landing. Both are important. Landing also is as important as takeoff. Yeah. So, that Swami was telling, he saw those two Swamis were doing that. Then I told, I also would like to see, will you please take me to the... Then he said, they passed away. But even now there are yogis who are practicing. But what has happened, sometimes they mix up this mysticism with other things, and they become confused to the people. So people will not be able to understand pure spirituality. They always attracted by this magic and other things, and they go away. They are satisfied if the Mahatma tells, oh, your son will be cured and your daughter will be married. If that is said, that's enough for him. He doesn't want God realization or any such thing. So many people think spirituality in that level, this thing. But true spirituality, if you want to know, you have to come to Sri Ramakrishna. True spirituality. What he tells, he acts himself. That's Sri Ram. No, generally you must have intellectual conviction, to practice it. Unless you have intellectual conviction, how do you practice it? It's a process of meditation only. Actually, Ramana Maharshi, he did the same thing. And the process of meditation, they have been clearly given in all the important textbooks, beautifully given. Step by step, they give. In fact, clarity must be done. Intellectual conviction if you have, then you don't hesitate to practice it. That's the idea. Methods are given. First of all, we must fix up our approach. Somebody was coming the other day, an American lady, very good lady. Somehow she was telling, she wants bhakti. She wants that method. She wants to go in that path of devotion. So he is asking me to give directions in that way. I am amazed to see, like that, they are fixing their target. You must fix your approach, and then methods will be there. Whatever methods, so many methods I have already told. Whatever method is suitable, one can take. Even in devotion, there are so many ways of devoting, practicing devotion. And anyway, like that. But little bit of everything is required. Path of devotion doesn't mean that you should not have a jnana at all. No. Little bit of other things will be there, but predominance will be your devotion. Like that. And the method Sri Ramakrishna To put you in a very simple way, Sri Ramakrishna tells very frequently that what I told towards the end of my talk, whether you are able to do meditation properly or not, don't forget to do japam every day. Keep on doing japam continuously. That will clear up everything. Constantly thinking about divine, remembering him, repeating his name continuously, with shraddha, with deep interest. If a person does, slowly he develops love of God. And once that love is kindled, then he is wonderful. Keeps on doing it. But we should not immediately go on seeing every day what is the result. You will not be able to see. Don't see about the result. Keep on doing the things. Results will come at the correct time, whatever time they should come, they will come. But it's good. It's good to one part of the mind will be on the results, no doubt. But greater part must be on the practice. While practicing, we must see always there are no loopholes. Whatever way you practice, if it is not properly taken care of, it goes in a different way, then whatever you have done will not be useful to you. It should not be done that way. So whatever you do it with zealousness and try to be very serious in our spiritual life. That's important. All the lives and teachings of Mahatmas are the methods only. You read any life of Sri Ramakrishna, life of Ramakrishna, Ramana Maharshi, Ramanujacharya, Shankaracharya, Madhvacharya, Vallabhacharya, fantastic. If you read the life itself, how they behave, how they face the situations, how they pass through difficult tests, how they come out gloriously, relying upon God, all those things are how God tests them by giving punishment. So many things are there. Yes, yeah. But Kevashichandra Sen, he transformed his life on account of the contact with Sri Ramakrishna. Difficult to say who is to judge that. I would say Sri Ramakrishna's grace was upon him so great. So he was saved completely from all those shocks. Otherwise people would not survive. If normally speaking, those shocks are not ordinary. Yeah. It is terrible, really. It happens. Maybe because of those shockings, he was able to turn to Sri Ramakrishna more sincerely, and that's also true. In fact, each human life is a test only. You must know that. I have taken this life. It's a test for me, if I use it properly. If a person doesn't use the body, his mind in a proper way, he has failed in the test. That means he has to again appear for the test. That means again he has to take birth, either as a snake, or as a fox, or as a tiger, or as a jackal, according to whatever the nature, or as a monkey. So, again he has to pass through the tests. Everything that comes to us in the life is a test, I should say. If you learn a lesson out of it, you have passed in that test. If you are not learning a lesson, you have failed from God's point of view. That's how I personally feel, and I take like that in my life. So many things happen. Sometimes I just see them and try to maintain my calmness in spite of so many things happening. See, sometimes things happen. They not on account of me or on account of certain things. They happen. Suddenly the storm came, rainstorm, hailstorm, so many things come. They come in a flash. But you have to, how you face it, how you conduct yourself, that's important. So that's how we are, at least I am trying that way. Now, worldly responsibilities will take you to spirituality means, if you do it properly with devotion to God, then only you will be able to turn to spiritual way. But if you completely forget God and tell I am doing my duties, etc., etc., what is the use of those duties? No use. Any more? She is meditating. Alright, we shall stop. It's very good that ashrama is meant for everybody, not only men, women, children also, with the cooperation of everybody, all the devotees, with good understanding and mutual love and affection. We can do many things. Sri Sharda Devi, ideal for these times. It's a good opportunity for me to meditate on Holy Mother. The more I try to meditate, the more I tend to become humble and simple. That's the beauty of Holy Mother. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name, that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass, be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I am reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Oh, how I long for the day when the instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years. For my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence. Though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who steelest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved. Thou and thou alone, O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated with noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous attain tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For He being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe is satisfied.